Hi all, I thought I would do a little tour of my craft studio before the 2019 Get Organized Challenge. I'm a little late doing it, but I really haven't done that much this challenge. So I thought I would share what it looks like right now. It's messier than usual because I have stuff out for the cataloging process. I have an extra table set up for that reason. But this is as you walk in the room. I'm probably gonna have to lift because there is a bump. Hopefully this won't be too. I'm using my stand. As you walk in, if you turn this way, I've kind of created a little hallway with my calyx units so I can get to the back. You can see there's stuff there that I need to go through, and there's a closet over on this side that I store wreath stuff, my back storage, other larger items that I just really don't have room for. And I'm trying to make it things that I don't have to be into constantly so that it's not that big of a deal that it's in the closet. I have a lot of things stored on the back side here because I can access all those cubes from this side. There are things that face the other way too, but some of them it was easier to have it go this way for accessibility issues. On this side there is another closet. This used to all be non-crafty, but I have put some of my binders with quilting patterns and what else? SVG files, that type of thing in there. That board there is supposed to be my friend mail board, but it does have a few other things on it right now. As you walk in, like I said, normally this table here in front of the calyx unit isn't here, but it's got my cataloging stuff on that I'm currently working on. I'm currently working on my wood-mounted stamps, so that's what I have there. I'm getting a head start on next week's challenge because this week, the first week, was unmounted stamps for me. That's not what it typically is for everybody, but I've been through this challenge multiple times, and my focus this time is tools. There's an 8-cube calyx unit here from IKEA that has all of my themed and rainbow paper on it. My 3-base scrap rack sits on top of that. And for those of you saying I don't have space for a scrap rack, it really does make room for itself. This stuff took a lot more space before I took it out of its packaging and put it in the scrap rack. I like that it's expandable. And yes, it was an investment. But you know what? I spent a lot of money on the stuff that's in that, and I could never find it and use it. So it made more sense to invest in a storage option that was going to work for me. And trust me, I went cheap the first time, the first several times. I'm like, oh, I'll try this, cute basket and stuff. And guess what? Just because something's in a basket doesn't mean it's organized. So I decided to go ahead and try the scrap rack, and I ended up with 3 bases. I wish I had room for 4, but I just don't have the space for a 4th one. First, there's another cube unit in the corner, but it's shorter, so I couldn't go all the way across. It's not on casters, but if I put it on casters, there wouldn't be room for it there. And then there's sorry, I slipped. There's a piece of slat wall above that, which right now has an assortment of stuff. That's something I need to get organized too. Over on this wall, there's a little shelf that my father-in-law made. He made it for my kids when they were little to put some of their Disney figures on, and they didn't want or need it anymore. So I use it for my Wonder Woman, Supergirl stuff here in the craft room. For a while, I had Cricut cartridges on it. Those soon outgrew that. And I don't really have the cartridges in their cases anymore. I did keep the cases because if I ever get rid of them, I'm sure a person would need it, though I doubt I can get rid of them at this point because they're all linked. In that corner, there's a 4-cube shelf unit that I got at, can you see it? Back there, at Kohl's. And that one has my seasonal paper and my vinyl, all the different, the removable vinyl, the permanent vinyl, the HTV, transfer sheets. I think there's washi sheets back there, crepe paper, and a few other like specialty things that I wouldn't use like normal paper. So they're over there. Those units there with my washi in them are Cavissel units. They're Cavissel letter trays from IKEA. And I just made little paper trays for my washi, and my washi is sorted into that by themes, season, and color. So that works well for me. There's another slat wall back there that I mainly hang my larger cutting mats on. It needs some organization done to it as well, but it's not in too bad a shape. And then you should walk over here. Let's see if I can adjust this a little bit. There's an Alex unit here that my printer, my 12x12 printer sits on, and it holds all of my paper and labels and anything that can go into the printer, though my sheet protectors are over there too, just because I needed a place for them. I've got another Alex unit here of a different style. This one's got the file drawer in the very bottom. And then my sewing machine is here. There's sewing supplies under here and different stuff there. This was supposed to be my motivation board, but I kind of just use it for whatever now. For a while it had my word of the year on it, and I didn't really choose one this year. So I created a U-shaped desk. This side had you can see I've got stuff I just bought that needs to be put away, and like I said, it is a little bit of a mess right now. This side has I think it's a 59-inch Linman table on it. I did have these set up as like 2 L-shaped workstations, which I liked, but Tiffany always says, surround yourself with your supplies. So I kind of thought, if I did it into a U shape, I could do that better. And I also didn't like that I was sewing in one area, I was doing something else in another area, and if I switched, it was kind of a pain. So this way I can kind of have it all set up in one area. This one has 2, I believe they're 39-inch Linmans. There's an Alex unit in the middle. That one mainly has like office type supplies in it. There's another Tiffany cart on that side. You can see the pink. And in the back, there's some organization supplies. I want to get a couple of cube units and put them on a board with wheels on it, so that I can put my cataloging station back there and my empty organization supplies and pull it out when I need it. This side has kind of works in progress and photos, and I need to get that organized better too. I just haven't quite figured out how to do it. I don't know if that'll get done this challenge. This challenge, like I said, my focus is going to be on tools. And then the other side of the U is kind of where I do, well, you've probably seen this a lot if you watch my videos, because I usually have the camera pointed this way. And I also seem to do a lot of my work right here. I've got my Tim Holtz media mat here and my self-healing mat there. I want to replace that. I thought that was so cool when I bought it. And it takes up a lot of space. And it really isn't as functional as it should be. But for now, it's staying until I decide what I want to replace it in. For one thing, I've discovered I don't like a lot. I know it's hard to believe looking at that desk, but I don't like a lot of stuff on my desk when I'm working. I can easily move that frame and that light box when I'm working and have a little bit more space. And on this side, a lot of the stuff, that stuff way back there, the pens and the labeler, are not actually on the desk. They're on a shelf that hangs off the slat wall. I found I like that much better, so I have the clear area. And in the calyx units there, you see some of my ink pads and my markers. There's more coloring agents over that way. This is the stuff that I can get from this side, and then there's other stuff on the other side. And there is another Alex drawer here, and these ones really need to be organized again because they've kind of just become, the top one says stickles, but it's actually kind of beads and what most people would classify jewelry making. I'm planning to try some chunky charms that Anchor Life 5 does a lot. If you don't watch her, check her out. I love her videos. I want to do one of her, I think she has a couple tutorials on chunky charms, and I want to use one of them and make a couple myself for planners. So that's there. One of them has like my stamping tools in it. I've got a Misty and a Tim Holtz platform and stamping blocks and the creative corners for the Misty. So I have things like that there. I have another Totally Tiffany cart there. That one has all my adhesives in it. But I really am going to try to get my room how I want it and figure out what I use and what I don't. And up there on that slat wall, I have, it's mainly Stampin' Up sets. There are a few other sets on the lower tray, and I have some gems that I still need to finish organizing. Tiffany recommends putting all that in your scrap rack, but I found that I hate the little baggies. And in order to put them in the scrap rack, that's kind of what you have to do. So I'm going to go a different way. I'll still use the 4-section system for organizing them, but I don't want them in the scrap rack. I just didn't like the baggie system. It frustrated me to no end. Like, I put all of my brads and grommets up in that unit right there. They're in little like Tic Tac dispensers, and they are sorted by the 4-section system, so I can easily find them when I look for them. And I find those items I use for very specific purposes, so it works for me not to have them in my scrap rack. I may end up putting like one of each in the scrap rack so that I can see what I have and know that it's over here. But for now, that's what I'm doing with it. That may be a different challenge. That might be I might focus on embellishments, fine-tuning those in another challenge. But for now, that's kind of a quick overview of what my room currently looks like. I thought maybe I would try each week to pop on. I have shared in the past how I do like my paper and stuff, but I might just kind of pop on each week and show you what I'm choosing to focus on that week and how I decided to go about it. Like this week, I'm sharing how I stored my stamps, which will actually take care of the next 2 weeks. I do want to do a little bit with my paper since I got some more dividers, so maybe I will pop on next week and do a little bit of paper if I get a chance to do that, as well as finishing up my unmounted stamps. But I really do like the U-shaped desk. I know not everyone's fortunate enough to have a space like I do, but I didn't get a space overnight. And I probably still wouldn't have a space if I hadn't gotten sick. When I got sick, I said, well, I have time to craft, but I don't have the energy. I have to, by the time I would get even some of my stuff out, I said I was so exhausted that I didn't even feel like looking at it, let alone crafting. So hubby says, well, let's let you have the dining room for your craft room. So for a while I had converted that and done my craft room down there, and then when our daughters moved out, we moved my craft room up into one of their old bedrooms. Anyways, that's all I've got to share today. I got to wrap it up. I'm getting close to that 15-minute mark, and it will not upload from my iPad if I go over that. So thanks for joining me. I'll catch you next time.